I'm stoked to have on the stage tonight Scott House. Scott is from Jans and White Pine Touring, Avalanche Training School. Is that the fair way to put it?
Yeah, we could say school or Avalanche Education Program.
Avalanche Education Program. Welcome, man.
Pleasure.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So, first up, give us a little bit of your background on how you got into the backcountry and how you came to be an avalanche trainer.
Well, start at the beginning. I started skiing when I was 3. Have loved skiing ever since that time. My freshman year in college, got into backcountry skiing, and I grew up in Michigan and was skiing in Michigan at that time, but had been traveling out west for many years. And that was when I took my first avalanche course, which was 11 years ago now. And ever since then, it's just been a progression of constantly learning and getting into the backcountry and trying to better my skills as an instructor and as a practitioner. And that's kind of where I started. And then from there, you know, it just kind of built into more complex courses and then into instructor trainings and all that kind of stuff. So.
Fantastic. And how long have you been involved with Jans and White Pine?
I've been working for Jans and White Pine Touring now for 7 years.
Wow.
So 6 years I ran the guide service for White Pine Touring. As of recently, I've taken over as communications director for the Jans Corporation and manage all of our social media marketing and internal and external communications, and still kept to my one thing that I would never give up was the Avalanche program, and still oversee the Avalanche program. So that's my baby that I don't let anybody touch.
Your baby. Daddy's little girl. Good for you. So let's talk about the program, why folks should be aware, should be seeking out this education, and kind of what the curriculum is like.
Okay, yeah, so White Pine Touring, we are affiliated with ARI. ARI is the American Institute for Avalanche Research and Education. It's a governing body. ARI was the first governing body to develop a true standardized curriculum. And that's where kind of White Pine decided that was going to work best for us. We wanted to kind of go with the most standardized, highest grade curriculum we could find. Mm-hmm. And so when we started the Avalanche program, which is, now it's been close to 10 to 12 years ago that we started this Avalanche program, ARI just made a lot of sense. And that's where it kind of started. Now, as far as the program goes and what it entails, ARI has 3 levels of courses, or 4, we can say 4. They have an awareness lecture, which we have going on this Friday at White Pine Touring. And that's the first step. The awareness lecture is a general overview of avalanche safety in the backcountry, what to be looking for, what you need to be aware of, the risks that are out there, how to mitigate those risks. The next step is the level 1 course. And the level 1 course is the true course that you need to take if you're going to be traveling outside of any resort boundary. As soon as your foot crosses that rope line, you should have an avalanche level 1 course under your belt. And to be fair, we would love to see you take a course with White Pine Touring in the ARI program. It doesn't really matter though. You need a level 1 from any course provider out there before you go into the backcountry as a safety standard. The level 1 course basically builds on that avalanche awareness lecture. It comprises components rescue, route finding, terrain assessment, snowpack assessment, and that's kind of how the course works. Now the course is a 24-hour curriculum for the level 1. And the first 8 hours are classroom work. So we're going to go over the kind of little pieces of it and get all the technical stuff out of the way. The next 2 days we spend outside in the field practicing. We start out with avalanche beacon drills, so teaching students how to use a beacon, teaching them how to understand how a beacon works, how the frequencies works, the flux line signal works on a beacon, and we do a lot of practice with that through the morning. The course, the next step in the course is a snow profile. So we go out, and as instructors, we do one big large group snow profile for our students. We show them all the basic tests that they'll need to be able to perform to make an assessment of the snowpack. We collect those results, we discuss those results with the students, what we're seeing, why we're making these decisions. And then the rest of the day on day 1 in the field is spent in what's called companion rescue drills. So we break our students down into groups of 3 or 4, and they work as a team to uncover anywhere between 1 to 4 beacons, and we time those drills. And the time is not so much for competition, but just so you can see how much faster you're getting through the course. And when we move on to day 2 in the course, it's our tour day. So we break into groups immediately in the morning. There's 7 people with each instructor. and you go out on a mini ski tour. Your instructor will be teaching you route finding skills, basic ski touring techniques as far as kick turns and getting your skins on and off, and how to operate your bindings and be more efficient with your equipment. Students on that day will be required to dig their own snow profiles or snow pits, collect their data, record that data, and they'll return to their instructor. And the instructor the whole time is kind of milling about between those groups and making sure people are on the right page. And but they come back with that data, and then we discuss that data. Okay, well, what you saw in the snowpack and what you saw in the avalanche forecast and the weather and where you're at now, what decisions can you make from that? And then we finish that day once again with rescue drills. And that's kind of the level 1. And when you go to level 2 and level 3 from there, the level 2 course is a much more involved course. It goes much more into the science behind snow, how that snow changes within the snowpack due to weather, temperature, moisture content. And then the level 3 is a professional guides course. And that's the step, if you were going to go out and guide for Wasatch powder birds or up in Alaska, you would want to take that level 3 course. And that's basically going to give you the skills to forecast, like what Drew Hardesty and Bruce Tremper and the Utah Avalanche Forecast Center do for us. That's where the level 3 course would take you, is into a position similar to that, where you would be able to forecast what's happening in the backcountry for any given period of time. Interesting.
So it sounds like you're really turning out some almost mini scientists, making folks really aware of the level of record keeping and that sort of thing that needs to happen in order to have that peak experience that you see a lot of on film and that sort of thing, but there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, we don't want to make it sound like it's a science course, There is some science involved. But the level 1 course, like we said, is really the one and only course you need as a recreational skier to be traveling in the backcountry. That's going to give you all the basic information to keep you safe for years of skiing in the backcountry, as long as you follow the guidelines and practice what you learned in the course. And we don't get into too much science there, because you're not. We have a great Avalanche Forecast Center here.
Right.
You don't have to worry about forecasting on your own.
Sure.
And so that's where that level 1 course really plays in well. Now, for athletes, which there's a lot of them in Park City who are traveling to areas where there aren't forecast centers and who are pushing into these extreme areas and very remote areas. That's where those level 2 and level 3 courses come in. When you do need the science background, you need to be able to make assessments away from an Avalanche Forecast Center where there is no published forecast on your own.
Right, right. So if you would tell folks where they can go online, et cetera, to get more information about the classes? Yeah.
So at any time, you can visit whitepinetouring.com. Of course, you've got all the information up there on our website. Feel free to call the shop, 435-649-8710, and any one of our staff there can give you information on the courses. But the website has descriptions for the level 1 course, dates, cost, descriptions for level 2 and level 3, cost, locations, all that kind of stuff. And then you sign up either over the phone or in person at White Pine Touring.
Excellent. Well, we're galloping through the show tonight, so we're going to move ahead, but we really appreciate you being here. Sounds like good stuff. I think I'm going to try and make it to the Friday night get-together. Sounds like a great start.
Yeah, Friday night, 6 o'clock at White Pine Touring on Bonanza Drive. It's a great lecture, whether you've already taken an Avalanche course or you're thinking about getting in the backcountry. It's just a great way to start your season off safely, get your head in the game, be in the right spot mentally, and kind of head out the door with at least a little bit of knowledge before you get out there and get after it.
Exactly. Well, I was going to say, thanks for bringing the knowledge and keeping as many folks as safe in the backcountry as possible.
Happy to do it.
And come back and see us again soon.
Sounds good. Will do.
Thanks, Scott. All right, we are going to keep it moving. We've got more music. We've got weather. We're chock-a-block on Mountain Views. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back.